All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely uh, morning in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I was doing a lot of outdoor work and got caught up, then had to jump into the shower, and I'm glad it turned out that way. The Father said something to me in the shower that was really kind of what I would call strange, but it's all well. Sister Deborah coming with a short message, not something long. Oh, it might be. I realize what I'm talking about here. We're talking about righteousness versus unrighteousness. And many people are thinking that they are preparing themselves in their mental state of mind, in their flesh, to be going somewhere. And they're not even entitled in the spirit nor the flesh to be going anywhere. Being so, there's nothing in them found to be righteous. Everything in them seem to be unrighteous. Then you got those who go between the fence, trying to ride both ends. And then you got the individual who's trying to live in the righteous will of, not the righteous will, but the righteous in the eyes, in the sight of Yah, the best way that they know how. And I want you to kind of go with me to Psalms 37 and just hear how David kind of separates something. And David does something that Sister Deborah is doing today, and that is trying to get individuals to understand that the tools that heaven has orchestrated is according to the Father's will. Okay. And that it's going according to his will, and not so much as the way man feel that they can teach this thing and preach this thing and instill in you that it's going to go according to their will. What I'm understanding is that many understands the difference between right and wrong, good and evil. As I come to understand that, reading to you all Romans chapter 1, verse 18 and 19 and 20, it shows you where the Most High Yah says that he put it in them. So when he says he put it in them, it leads me to understand that to do right is already in you. Okay. And this is the reason why Adam was created perfect and in righteous. There was nothing found in him but righteous. That's the way he was created. So it's like letting you know you come out of your mother's womb in righteous, but unrighteous takes a hold of individuals as it is assigned. Okay. Believe it or not, heavens has got it already wrote in and wrote out. Being so, a lot of us don't believe that heavens knows the going and the coming, the end and the beginning. You see, we don't want to give him that type of glory. We don't want to give him that type of honor. We don't want to exalt him in that type of power. But that's where he is, and that's where he shall remain, whether we like it or not. That's one thing. Oh, I got to turn this fan on. Being so, oh, how I'm going to turn it on? And I'm hooked all up. Oh well, so much for that. I try to just do the best I can. But what I'm learning is that I wasn't the first one to bring out the twos, but I was the one to bring the mystery out. You get what I'm saying? The mystery that they had been speaking, but no one has taken heed to, or no one has gripped the fact that David, all of them been speaking twos, and how the kingdom brought everything down in twos. You know, every vision Abraham had, every dream that you hear in the biblical is really setting up two sides. So when you hear the twos, the Father wants you to know it always been in the beginning. In the book of Genesis, there was two trees in the midst, side by side. Okay? There were a good, no, there were a tree of life, and there was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. There was two said to be sitting in the midst. You see? Everything started off in twos. Everything he did in twos. It was his will that we in the flesh recognize the two. Male and female, there go the twos. You see? The two trees, there go the twos. Everything was created from the kingdom in twos. And it is a mystery even today that there are two sets of people in Yah. You see what I'm saying? And what do you mean? There's a set people, it's two sets in him, but only one set is going to return back to his bosom. You see what I'm saying? So even though you're thinking, okay, we are the people, there's two people set before the throne of the Most High Yah, but only one going to turn back to his heart, to his spiritual heart of who he is, which is his bosom, and the other one going to go elsewhere. We don't want to accept that because we want to live in this lie. But let's go to Genesis chapter. Let me go to Genesis chapter 3. And then we're going to go into David. So David can kind of break up the twos. The twos to what, Deborah? To righteousness and to unrighteousness. There go the twos. He breaks it down. And as I think about it, the Psalms that I hear that is said that David speak it always break down things in more than just one, but in twos. And I noticed that. So today I was sitting down doing my Psalms to the Most High Yah, speaking and putting my Psalms on writing. And I said, okay, let me open up the instructions and direction book. And when I opened it up to Psalms, and it had Psalms 36, and I think 35 was on the page, and 37. So I decided to take on 37. And when I took on 37, I realized 37 is talking about the righteous and the unrighteous. There go the twos. You all really do not believe that the way the Father orchestrated everything was by twos, meaning one is not going to make it to his bosom. And I know a lot of people don't want to accept that, nor do they want to believe it, but both of them is not going to make it to the bosom of the Most High Yah, but the righteous one is going to automatically. Okay, so that's the same way with going to the promised land. We really have gotten in our mind, because we are being taught and to believe that you do what you want, you got a choice, you got a free will, do what you want, live your life. This is your life. You got one life to live, and live it any way you want to. You're a Hebrew Israelite. You see what I'm saying? That's the wrong spirit to be teaching you, because it's got to teach you beyond your nationality. It has to teach you from the spiritual realm. See, your nationality can be a Hebrew Israelite, can be a Jew, but this here has to teach you beyond that. This has to, you have to learn righteous beyond that. That is not righteous. Just because Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that don't mean righteous. I don't know if you all understand that or not. And that's what has been taught. If you're a seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you are the righteous. No, baby. No, because there's two sides to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There is a flesh side and there is a spiritual side. You can be a part of the flesh, which is the bloodline in the natural, but are you a part of the spirit, which is the bloodline of the spirit? That's where you have to seek in to find out who really are you. Are you connected to them in the spirit realm? And what you see is individual using them in their natural flesh ways and adapting to that as far as their flesh. And the main thing they get out of it, like I said, polygamy, having many wives. They take that from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They take it from David. They take it from Solomon. But they fail to realize these men were also locked in the spirit realm. So do that mean that their wives and their children have eternal life? No, because they are part of them in the flesh. They're not part of who Yah is in the spirit. They're not the seed of the spirit. So therefore, you can't just place them as the righteous, uh, 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 the righteous one. You can't do that. You got to place their spirit as the righteous one, not so much as them themselves being righteous. You get what I'm saying? So how do you do that, Deborah? Is when you look and see how Abraham was at the vision, in the vision, scared as a chicken. And right there it tells you Abraham being in fear tells you he wasn't what you teaches people that he is. We put them on big pedestals and fail to realize you got to put Yah on the highest pedestal and let them be on the low, because they are the seed of the spirit. They are not above the creator. You see? So when he got him in the vision, Abraham believed, but what did he say? He signed Abraham under. I accounted you righteous. You see? You already in there, bro. In righteousness is how you're in there. You see? That's what he was telling him. I got you counted already in under righteousness. So did Abraham make himself righteous? No. The Father is telling him, your spirit is already counted in as righteousness, no matter what. That means no matter what Abraham went out here to do, he was already counted in as righteous. In the vision, did the Spirit of the Most High Yah explain that to him? You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times we want to put people way and beyond where they need to be, and they have not been assigned that order to be where we're willing to place them. They're not entitled to that. See? So I think I'm gonna have to turn this fan on because I just got out the shower and I feel hot. I'm sorry. I went on and turned on the air. Turned the air on. I went on and turned the air so it can, because I just got out of the shower, and I'm gonna give you a word of what he gave me when I was in the shower. But let me say this. So this is where Abraham really is. He fell under. He was already counted in the righteousness of the Most High God. The righteousness is when you're counted in, is heaven's going to receive you back as the righteous seed, as the spiritual righteous one. Okay, so it's nothing on earth that's going to hinder you or hold you back from that. You are already in the spirit, signed to righteousness. Okay, so this is also shows you the power of who he is, not so much as who you are. And then here it kind in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 22, it says, and Yah said, behold, man is become as one of us. What is he saying? How did they become as one of us? Knowledge of what? Good and evil. Now they have the knowledge of good and evil. I would replace that with righteous and unrighteous. They have the knowledge of righteous and unrighteous. It's already in them. So when we was in Romans chapter 1, verse 18, 19, and 20, when we see it says, let's go there. Romans chapter 1. Watch what Romans says. And that's why people are not going to get away with what they're teaching on this platform, or get away with the ways of their own understanding, is because it's written in the kingdom. It don't mean nothing on the earth, baby. It's what's written in the kingdom. That's what Satan was tempting Yeshua, and he went on to tell him, when you finish, it is already written. So nothing you can say to me to go change anything. It's already written. I think that's beautiful, because that shows you right there. We can run our mouth all day and night. Heaven's already got it wrote in and wrote out. And that's what I am here for, is to let you know ain't nothing gonna override what my Father has in the kingdom. Nothing. So all these new belief and these new religion and these new denomination and these new insight of what's right and what's wrong and what real and what isn't, let me tell you, it's not going to override that kingdom when they finish. Okay, so here in Genesis, it says in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 23, Genesis chapter 3 and verse 22, and Yah said, behold, the man is become as one of us. Now he's become as one of us in what way? Knowing the difference between good and evil. In a sense, right and wrong. You get what I'm saying? They know the difference. And you can line that the same as righteous and unrighteous. They know it. How do they know it? Because the Father sits and let us know way in the beginning. They know now, Deborah. It's in them. It's already in there. And then he says, what? And now, lest he put forth his hand. So it's like letting you know you still got to do something as far as reaching and taking also the tree of life and eat and live forever. So it's still like a reach. You still got to go after something. And what? And eat. That means take it in. Bring it in and live forever. So you knowing good and evil are right and wrong, or unrighteous and righteous, unrighteous and unrighteous, it's not good enough. You still got to take up the tree of life and do what with it? Eat. That means digest that thing. Get that thing within. Eating is letting you know, bring that thing in. Take that thing, bring it in. You see? And this way you will live forever. That's the tree of life. And not only did he have the tree of life there, he left it lit. Mean so where it can plainly be seen that it exists. So while we run around here chasing all these platforms and chasing all these books and these a way of teaching and way of understanding, we chasing our tails in a circle because it's nothing hidden. He already said he put a light there so you can see your way to the tree of life. So when you can't see your way, it's because your way is to darkness. That's why you can't see the tree of life. So here he's showing you that now man has become, because Yah has allowed them now to know the difference between righteous and unrighteous, good and evil, right and wrong. It's in you. So when you get to Romans chapter 1, here go Paul saying similar, the same thing. Paul is said in Romans chapter 1, verse 18. For the wrath of Yah is revealed from heavens against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men. Okay? His what is revealed? His wrath has been revealed toward what? Their unrighteousness. So he's saying that, see, Deborah, everybody thinking somebody got to beg these people. You got to plead with them. You got to keep feeding them and giving them to do right. Stop it. This is why he gets on me all the time. Stop. Get in your lane. Why? Because he knows no matter what I say, it's going to change anyone. It's not. But that's why you got a lane to go back in. Because in that lane is your security. It's your comforter. In that lane, you're going to be taught. You're going to have a comforter. You're going to be shown things. You're going to be revealed things. That's the lane you must know that you always have, Deborah. Because when you come out of your lane to give individuals the food for the spirit, what spirit and truth? Let me explain this to you, Deborah. Let's go. Romans chapter 1, verse 19. Romans chapter 1, verse 19. Because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them. So this is what he's saying, baby. Don't think you coming out your lane to give them what's in your lane is going to make them get what you got in your lane. It's not. That's why you're able to discern and use the gift that I've given you. And I want you to understand in this journey, you're going to need it. Because this is how you're going to rightly divide who's who and what's what. You know what you're doing. So here he said in Romans chapter 1 and verse 19, because, Deborah, that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them, for Yah has shown it unto them. Where? From the inside out have they been given good and evil, right and wrong, righteous and unrighteous. It's already manifested in them. This is what he was talking about in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 22. Man has now become as one of us, knowing, having the knowledge between good and evil, righteous and unrighteous. So don't put so much emphasis on trying to break down what is righteous when they have it in them. And then you get to Romans chapter 1 and 19, it says, because they which may be known of Yah, because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them, for Yah has shown it unto them. Verse 20, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, Deborah, being understood by the things which are made, even his eternal power and Godhead. His eternal power and Godhead is who? Hamashiach, Christ, his right hand. That's why it's showing you power and Godhead. It's letting you know his power is his Godhead. And that's who the saints is up under, Hamashiach. You see? So he's saying they know so that they are without excuse. He's letting me know, Deborah, they already knew. Now listen to what he said in 21. We're in Romans chapter 1 and verse 21. Because that when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as Yah, neither were thankful, but because vain in their imagination and their foolish heart was darkened. And that's where I am definitely in when I was taking a shower. I was thinking that why is it the mindset of people is so dark? Their whole imagination of life itself is so darkened. And I'm sitting here reading it as part of this lesson, which I did not have it on my sheet. I'm letting the Ruach lead me and guide me. But yet, I got everything down in what I'm going to talk about because I'm going to land right back over in David. David is going to break down. He knew this in which I'm speaking unto you. So this is to me, it's like a comforter. It's the comforter that shows me, see, baby, I told you. They knew all the time. They just got you going to and fro. Don't stay in your lane. Because you're given the period of the light of spirit and truth. They don't even understand this is their last opportunity. And it's an opportunity because you are my servant still in the race on the earth. Outside of that, they wouldn't have nothing but those that they constantly run to and fro with and to, thinking they getting something. So here I said, and I put Romans 1 and Genesis 3 and 22 together because I see where the Father is letting me know what David is talking about has already been in the beginning. That's how David knew. David knew that there was a difference between the righteous and the unrighteous. David was pulling up in Psalms 37. David was pulling up the two differences. So we're going to cover Psalms 37. We're going to cover Psalms 37, and we're going to start with verse 3. And this is David himself wanting individuals to understand the tools. So even though this book has been here, and I'm going to tell you, it's an instructions and direction book, but what the Father is saying is, see, Deborah, they had many things to come closer and to pull forward toward me. First and foremost, he always had the light, the lamp on toward the tree of life. He just showing me the things that was always there. They took it out of the order. Instead of following the spirit of these people and who they followed, which was who? Yah. David didn't follow himself. He followed the spirit of Yah, which is righteous. He didn't follow himself when he did his sin and the things of his flesh. He followed himself. But the things of his spirit followed Yah. So Yah saw the things that he did in the flesh, made him pay a consequences in the flesh because it didn't represent him. But after he learned, he stopped, y'all. David did continue to do the things in the flesh. He did continue to keep his eyes focused on who? The Most High Yah. So in Psalms, he went on to telling us about him speaking to Yah all this time, doing all his battles and his war and everything he's going through. It was him speaking on this level of how he felt and the relationship Yah had with him and he had with Yah during his struggles, during his time. Nobody want to hear that. Why? They want to hear that, oh, I got many wives and his wife this and his wife. They want to really meditate on the part of the flesh of David and not the part of the spirit that communed with the Father. So what are they doing? They're breaking it down in twos. They want the unrighteous part of David, but they didn't want the righteous, which carried 98% of who he was. You see, that's the world. The world don't want that which is righteous. It wants that which is unrighteous. So it takes out David's unrighteous and live it out in their lives. But don't take the 92 of who he was serving the creator himself. That's why nobody can come back and tell me there ain't no creator, there ain't no Elohim, or there ain't no Yah, there ain't no higher one that sits on the throne. You can't feed it to me. I tried him for myself without you, this one here, without this one, without the one in the back, and without the one in the front. I've tried him for myself and know that he is who he said that he is, the I am. So I don't need nobody tell me who he ain't, because I learned who he is, which is the I am. I am, I love it, because that to me, it speaks a different message. I can be who I want to be and when I want to be, or who I want to be. And there ain't nobody gonna tell me who I am, because I am who I say that I am, not who y'all down there saying that I am. How about you? How about that? See, so we're going to go to Psalms 37, and we're going to hear David split a lot of things up in twos. And this is where you don't want to, this is where you're not going to hear on these platforms, you're not going to hear David, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You're not going to hear how they also spoke things to where it separate two entities. You see, it separate two entities. No one wants to cover that, because to me, I showed a picture in one time. I did a video years ago where this is a wall, and in this wall, Satan is on this side. He keeps up trouble on this. No, he keeps up trouble on this side, and he hides on this side. And I see him. That's how he have been able to be successful, having so many seeds following him in that order. It's because he hide on one side and let trouble be on one side where he's not. He'll be on this side. He'll be on this side keeping up trouble, but he'll hide on this side as if he's not seen. So people will blame people, things, issues, and everybody else. But then Satan didn't hid on his side after he was on your side. Then he go running on his side to hide. You see? So here I want to cover something David was saying, and I want to show you also how David is in tune, as Sister Deborah is. I'm very much in tune to who David really was and is, because I feel that he is my brother and we are one in this. Okay. So when I get to Psalms 37, when I get to Psalms 37 and I see verse 3, it says, trust in Yah and do good, so shall thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. So see, here he's telling you, He's telling you, David is telling you. Now listen to what he's saying. He's telling you how you're going to get to the land in a way, and how to go, and how you're going to be taken care of. Let's read it again. David is telling us, Psalms 37, trust in Yah. So David is telling us we need to trust in Yah. Watch this here. He said, trust in Yah and do good. Did he say do bad, do evil, do unrighteous, do unjust, do wicked? No, he says do good. For what? So shall thou dwell in the land. If you what? Trust in Yah and do good. Okay? So shall thou dwell in the land. So believe it or not, when I read this, I hear him speaking to me about the promised land. Trust in Yah and do good. And what? So shall thou dwell in the land, Deborah. And then he says what? And verily thou shall be fed. You're going to be all right if you trust in Yah and do good. What they're teaching today on all the platforms that I've seen, and out of the mouth of those who said they represent he that sits on the throne, they're teaching you to do, you can do whatever you want because of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You're already in there because you are they're a seed. Not knowing there's two. There's a seed of the flesh, but are you the seed of the spirit? See, that's what they didn't understand. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was the spiritual seed, you guys. That's what's throwing all of this trash off. That's what happened with the awakening. Those who said we are the true this and the true that. That's what's happening because they didn't take you through the righteous door. They took you through the unrighteous door. You see, and everybody was content because they was excited to be awakened to something man was feeding you, which was a lie. So here, even David. Now we know David thousands of years ago, but yet David is speaking to me. Deborah, if you trust in Yah and do good, you will what? You shall dwell in the land. You see, but they are teaching you, oh no, just because you are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's seed, that you're entitled to the land and eternal life. No, he never told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that your seed is the inheritance of eternal life. Never. He told him your seed will inherit the land. You see? And if your seed are in the spiritual seed, they will inherit the kingdom. But if your seed is of the flesh, your seeds of the flesh, they're going to remain living and their life out in the flesh, which you see the majority. As I stepped out of the shower, it was told to me, if you broke it down to 100 and you say 92 don't even know, 92 don't even care, 92 don't even understand, could care less. You see? And the sad part is the 8% never took out the time to even instill in the 92 who they are and who Yah is. They wanted them to only know who you are, and that's make you so special. When these people in the 92 need to know who Yah is. Not so much as who Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is, and you are their seed, but who Yah is. Once they come to know who Yah is, then they become to know who they are. But nobody wants to go that route. Everybody wants to stick on this true Jew, Hebrew, Israelite, we the people, we the this, we the that, never understanding. And this what it showed me. It showed me in the shower. Did you see when it was heated about who's who and what's what? You notice it ceased. And I said, it sure did. It sure did. Why is it that they never, the 8% never fought for the truth. Y'all never, now one of you would never understand. They never fought and stand up firm for the truth. But they have stood up firm for polygamy, being leaders, rulers, kings, women being submissive. They stood and stand up for all of that of the flesh. But why didn't you stand up for righteousness? Because you are so full of unrighteousness to where you're portraying in your flesh that you are the righteous. You see? To where it didn't even dawn on them that, okay, if we got 100% and 92% is not even aware. It was your job, 8%, since you said you so awakened, to take that 8%, shoot not out on the corners to tell the world who you are, shoot not on different camps and different academies and different lands and different churches, but shoot out to the 92 to tell who Yah is in you. They didn't want to do that. They only wanted to claim the position based on Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's what's good enough for them. So the 8% is content with the fact that they are a people. They're not content with how Yah feel about them or how Yah have chastised and disciplined and correct them and wanted them to come into this line. And here, in this line here, they decided to stay on the same line they were on, but yet pull up awakening, yoke around the neck, oppress, slave ships. They want to only use that, the 8%. I was thinking this in the shower. I'm trying to piece this together, that 8% never went out on the highways and byways to be laborers in the vineyard. They don't know nothing about the laboring, you guys. They only want the part that says Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They thinking that that's going to get them eternal. That's going to get them into the promised land. That's all they feel they need. And for this reason, that 8% never went out to instill in the 92 or to show them or to teach them or to reveal to them. Say, for instance, one of the 8% decided to go make movies, Hebrew to Negroes or whatever it's called. Say he wanted to make movies. Was it for him or was it for them? It was for him. It was for him. It got him to make enough money to take his and get out of here and go over in Africa where he think he found peace. But what he didn't do, he didn't labor in the vineyard. He got enough to make what he wanted to make so that he can get his, and I think he got 16 kids, over to the land that he feels he's gonna reside until Yah come. He never went out into the vineyard, you guys. He never labored in the fields. And that's what you see on all these platforms. They do not labor, you guys. They on these devil platforms laboring for their check. They're laboring to get a check from the world. They're not laboring to bring the knowledge of the light of spirit and truth among the other 92%. So that's why I say unto you, it's going to be a lot of things taking place that they have not told you all. Even the dry bones is an army. The dry bones has been said to be men. These was a mighty army that once fought with David. A lot of them don't understand that. These are not people that they gonna pull back up that did what they did in time past. I'll give you an example. A lot of you all did not even know when it was said that when Yeshua died on the cross, he ascended and he descended and he took the keys to hell. But in the process of it, other graves, many came up out of their graves. Those were still saints that was already following Yah. They pulled up. He ain't pulling wicked people out of the ground. Those dry bones is not wicked, stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient people who couldn't follow him from the beginning. If he's going to rise you up, you're going to understand, he's not going to rise that which was dead to eternal. What sense does it make for him to bring up those that are written for eternal, bring them up out of the ground to go back over to the promised land? That's not what he's doing. Because what people have done is they have made it about a flesh thing. They have made it about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and not about the Most High God. And that's where they messed up from the floor, because the only one can bring up those dry bones is the Most High right hand. Okay? That's his power. And he ain't going to do that to satisfy, to bring up those who had that already then lived the life and lived it for the seed of Satan, and then bring them up and bring them to the promised land. That doesn't make him just. That does not make him upright. That does not make him a righteous Yah. That's like saying, and this is what they teach it. Oh, it's going to be the other house of Israel getting. No, they're not. It's going to be a faithful army that follow David. And a lot of you all do not understand who you follow is also a key to you walking in the light. So many people do not understand that because they are so full of darkness. Not a pin needle of light reside within them. They so used to darkness till they can't even see a pin needle of light. They can't even discern it nor feel it. But so many are following darkness and thinking they're in the light. So here go David is actually giving you an example here today, and he's gone. That army that followed David, y'all gonna raise them up and take them as a multitude of who? Men. So that's why you know also there's not gonna be more women than men. It's gonna be more men than women. How you like it now? Because they ain't gonna teach y'all that. They're gonna make you think that it's gonna be more women to less men, and it's gonna be 7 women to a man. That's the teaching of the flesh of man. That's the teaching of those that has been in this here thing long enough to know that they've been lying. Why? Why would you say that, Deborah? Because in Genesis chapter 3 and verse 22, the Father shows me that they know better. Then he pull up in Paul, and Paul in Romans chapter 1, he's sitting here saying, these men know better, Deborah, because I put it in them to know the difference between right and wrong. So what is it going on? The twos is on the earth. There's 2 on the earth. So here go Psalms 37 in verse 3. David tells you, and he's speaking to a certain one. He says, trust in Yah and do good. Who is he talking to? The righteous one. Do good. So shall thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. So therefore he's letting you know how you can get to be one to go into the land. A lot of us would read that and think that and not understand that, look here, he's giving you a warning for your day, not his. He's gone. He's gone. He's just sending a sign. This is how you know individual in the spirit realm versus people who caught up in the flesh. The people that's caught up in the flesh don't understand spiritual messages because they see what someone says in the flesh as the flesh. They don't see it in the spiritual guide and leading you to a light. So when I get to Psalms 37 and verse 6, when I get to Psalms 37 and verse 6, here go David. And he shall bring forth the righteousness as the light. The righteousness as the light. And right here is kind of feeling, I can't say, he don't want me to say sad because I already got some little chills on me. Father, when I see David saying that, I say, David, I've been on this platform trying to instill in people about the light. The light, The light, even if it's a pen needle light, of the light. And here David saying it thousands of years ago, it is said. Okay? And it said in verse what? 6. Psalms 37 and verse 6. And he shall bring forth the righteousness as what? The light. You see how righteous is connected to the light, y'all? Do y'all know 99.9 of Israel have no idea of the light? None whatsoever. None whatsoever. They have taught that it's the light is, it's no light. They have taught you all in darkness. And I try to instill in you all, their teaching is coming from the end of darkness because they're not revealing the light, spirit, and truth. Nothing in that field are they bringing to the core or bring it to the surface. They just instilling in the power of control. I can control your dressing, your eating, your makeup, your fringes, your head wrap. I can who you be around, where you go, how you serve pagan days, how you do this and how it's a form of cult to deceive you to go into their area, and they're not even teaching you the light. But now you thinking that it's about what they say, and I'm going to be in there. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be what y'all want me to be because they're teaching you darkness. Here go David saying the same thing that I be saying. But I love the way he connected righteous. Verse 6. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and as thy judgment as the noonday. The noonday. Noonday, why? Because it's still light. Your judgment is going to sit amongst the light. Because regardless, he'll judge you in the light. And your light is going to still shine because now it's noonday and it's still light. But yet your judgment is going to line up with the noonday. Just letting you know. That's how Yah is going to deal with you. As a righteous one in the light. And your judgment is going to be like the noonday. So that sounds good to me. And this is what David is saying. He's saying it based on his own experience and his Psalms. I find it very supporting to get up in the morning and write my Psalms because I get to pour out what's in me. And while what's in me is speaking, I'm putting it in writing and letting the spirit have its way while I'm having my way in the spirit and being able to put it on paper. So I thank the Father for that. So when I get to Psalms 37 and verse 11, in Psalms 37 and verse 11, it says, but the meek shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. Look at it, what it's talking about. The meek. The meek and who? The abundance of peace. The meek and the abundance of peace. This is what you're going to be entitled to. And it says here in 11, but the meek shall inherit the earth. You all don't really understand what is ahead of us in that promised land. You really don't. To me, when you are born of the Spirit, you know well about what to look for. But when you are born of the flesh, you just undecided and don't know if you're going or coming. You just got in your mental state of mind in your flesh and in your flesh, mind, and heart that I'm going regardless. That's because that's what they have instilled in everybody. Even David letting you know pretty much only the righteous. David, that's pretty much what David's telling you. But let's go on. So in Psalms 37 and verse 11, it says, but the meek shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. That's beautiful. Inherit the earth. That's that promised land, y'all. You see? David's sitting here leaving messages for us, and we still haven't read. They don't teach this, what David is saying. They don't speak what he's saying. Why? Because they teach that which is in the flesh. They teach that which is in darkness. They won't bring forth the information in life. Now, the greatest thing I said to you today was the fact that out of 100, you got 92 that don't know anything of who they are. Then you got the 8% that do. The 8% has never entered into the harvest. They did not go in as the harvest because they think the harvest is me, mine, my land and my ones I influence, my camp and the one I influence, my academy, those that I have influenced. They decide that if I have awakened, I awaken to a way that I can lead the mass and the multitude my way. They never took on the 8% of those who say they know who they are to go into the 92. And this is what it said to me when I was in the shower. They had the time. He was saying in between 21 and 23 was their time to go out into the harvest and labor. But it showed that they weren't the laborers. They were not the laborers. That's why they are the 8% in this thing called awakening. And the other 92 hasn't awakened to anything. We had the opportunity to tell the truth of who we were, and we rejected. We denied it, as we have done everything, because we deny him first and then everything else afterwards. And we thinking we the light. We thinking we the spiritual ones. We thinking, no, you're the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You're not the spiritual seed. You're the flesh seed. This is why I'm saying to you, the topic of the title of this topic is the righteous and the unrighteous. Only thing you know what? Let me continue. So in Psalms 37 and 18, it reads, Yah knoweth the days of the upright. Do y'all know who the upright are? Those are the righteous. Those are the righteous. Now, this is David. See, you would think David would be out there fighting. Hey, David, get on out there and fight a war. You've been fighting wars all your life. Go out there and fight another war. No, David is sitting down, leaving us something. Us in this day something. And we ain't got the sense to sit down and read his Psalms and come to ourselves and say, I'm going to do my Psalms. When I brought up the Psalms, the first thing people tell me, I already do that. I got a piece of paper I write. That's not... What you're doing is in the flesh, okay? What you're doing is in the flesh, okay? When someone come up and tell you about the Psalms, they're not talking to you about what you already do. See, this is why I say the brick wall is real. It's real. You feel like you're laboring in a vineyard that doesn't have anything coming up out of it. No fruits of the spirit. No, nothing. And always got things to combat what you're saying, even among each other and to each other and to others. Never taking in that which is freely given unto them, because that's what it is. It's freely given unto thee. Look what David's doing to me. I'm taking what David is what? Freely given me. Why am I accepting it? And I'm taking it and I'm taking it in because it's given to my spirit. It's giving me food for my spirit, just strength for my spirit to know that David was sending information for us today. This is how I see when I get in this study guide under the Ruach. This is how I see these things. I don't see them like you all see them. And that's why they can't teach it to you all like I'm teaching it. It's because they're seeing it in the way that they are to see it. And that is in the darkness. I'm seeing it in the light and then bringing it and trying to bring it forth as light. But just because I'm bringing it forth as light don't mean I'm saying it to light. Praise the mighty God. Father, You better watch yourself. You better watch yourself, Father, y'all. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Father, y'all. So in Psalms 37 and verse, what was that, 18, listen to this. And Yah knoweth the days of the upright. Upright is the righteous. And their inheritance shall be forever. Wait a minute. David, wait a minute, David. David, you dead. You sleep. And you telling me about today and tomorrow? Come on now, David. See, this is what I try to explain to you that people are not getting. And it's not meant for them to get. This is why he wants me to embrace the fact that when you go into the your lane, you come out of it. It's okay to come out and give what you want to give or what you have to give, what I've given you. You still in the race, but know that you got a lane. And to remind me that I have a lane is to make me understand in my flesh and in my spirit. Don't lose it. Don't lose it out of your lane. You sit and you know that you're teaching the pure word. You know that you're teaching the light. You know that you're teaching spirit and truth. But don't lose it out there trying to teach in the vineyard or among the harvest and get caught up trying to pour out something that you can't. Know that no matter what, every time I get on, he wants me to understand. You get on, you can get off, but you got a lane. That is so much security for me to know that you got a lane. And he has to remind me of that. I love that, you know, because it's letting me know, yeah, you telling me, but I'm telling you, Deborah, they didn't hear me then. They ain't gonna hear you. But it's okay for you to tell it, but know that don't get wrapped up in it. Don't get hardcore in it. Just tell it in spirit and truth with the light in your right hand. Swoon, go back to the lane. That's it. So as you see in 18, David, look what David did. Now he's gone. David's gone, but listen to how. Let me say this. Yah knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. Wait a minute. You was back 1,000 years. How are you telling us? You see what I'm saying? I embrace this here as spiritual food because I believe even David, Abraham, Isaac, I look at them as my true brothers. They are my eternal. They are my spiritual brethren. That's who I see them as. I don't see myself as a seed of Jacob, a seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I don't see that. I'm not the seed of their flesh. I'm the seed of their spirit. Let me check that. Let me check that. I'm not the seed of the flesh. I'm the seed of the spirit. All right. That's who I am. I don't know who you are, but I know that's who I am. And this is why I can embrace their messages in the spirit realm, because I am a part of who they are in the spirit, not the part of who they are in the flesh. Okay. Or were in the flesh. Only the spirit. Okay. So I like that because he's telling them their inheritance shall be forever. What is that? Good news. That's good. That's a good feeling. That's that word to assure you that even David knew that you got something that y'all got promised for you. David knew it. David knew that you had something good. And here today, you don't even know nothing about it. You see? So when I get to verse 19, he says, they shall not be ashamed in the evil time. And that's the time we're in. And that there is beautiful for me because that's what Yah wants me to feel. He don't want me to feel shame that I'm in the midnight hour. You in the midnight hour for a light in the darkest time, Deborah. Don't consider yourself the night, the darkness. You are the light in the midst of the dark, the evil times. That's what David is sending to me, the assurance that the Holy Spirit in me has already sealed that you're in the midnight hour. I'm a sister that's not afraid to tell you all that you are in the midnight hour. I know you prefer me tell you, oh, you in the daytime, you in the light, you in the light. No, I'm not going to tell you that lie. We're in the midnight hour, the darkest time, the days of darkness. That means the level of where evil rests. They're in and having their day, their time. This is their time. Proverbs 16 and verse 4. He created a time for this, for them. Okay, now here it is in verse 19. David speaks of it. They shall not be ashamed in the day of evil. Not the day, in the evil time. Now watch this. And in the days of famine, and they shall be satisfied. Wait a minute, David. How do you know all this? Because this is a time that we should know this here already. But do you know 99.9 has no idea that David just spilled something here? David is telling us that is what? Found on what? The righteous end. That famine is not going to be for you. I hear you, David. And David says, what else? And he says that, and you're not going to be ashamed of the evil time. Now, it's a little nip there, for real. But ain't that what the Father said? That in Deuteronomy 28, that you will go mad for the sight of what you shall see. Who is he talking to? He's not talking to you. He's not talking to you because you're not even moved by what you see. That's why you can't teach and preach spirit and truth, the truth of the whole matter in Deuteronomy 28, because it does not move you. And he had to state that to those that it will. What did he say? And you shall go mad at the sight of what you shall see. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to the righteous one, because they're going to see something. But here David said, they shall not be ashamed in the evil time. Speaking of the same time, the evil time. Letting you know you're going to be okay. Deborah, you're going to be okay. I know you in this day and time. You seeing what you say you see. You speak in spirit and truth with the light in your right hand for sure. But you're going to be okay. Now, this is what David is saying. And in the days of famine, they shall be satisfied. So the righteous is not going to be caught up in the famine and pestilence and all these things that's coming upon the world in these dark days, in these evil times, David said. They ain't going to be caught up in it. Now that I do believe. I truly believe that without a doubt. I believe that without a doubt. Because I believe when the Spirit, when he communed with me and he informed me of these things, I take him at his word. I don't take flesh and what everybody else is saying. I take him at his word. He's an excellent teacher. Can no teacher outbeat the teacher that rests within you? And don't let nobody tell you there's someone out here teaching greater than him. Nobody on the face of the earth and nowhere else can teach you like the Ruach HaKodesh. And the poor thing about it is they going to turn around and say he don't exist. You don't exist because he won't abide in you. So you right. He don't exist in you because he don't abide in you. So you get your own God. Okay. So I like that what David was saying in verse 19, because he's letting me know, Deborah, that time that the famine and pestilence and all those things, you're going to be okay. The righteous is going to be okay. So when I get to verse 24, we still in Psalms 37 and verse 24, it says, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down. For Yah uphold him with his what? With his what? With his what? His hand. See, you notice it doesn't say hands, because we know the power of Yah is in his right hand, not his hands. When you see hand and you see ear and you see eye, and it's not added an S, it's showing you spirit realm. That's why I was trying to explain to you all. Things are not the way y'all think it is. Everything rests in the natural. No, it's spirit. It's the tools. You can have the flesh and you can have the spirit. You'll see it in spirit or you'll see it in the natural. But when it's in the natural, it's going to have the S. But when it's in the spirit, it's going to be singular. And it's telling you how he's going to what? In verse 24, though Sister Deborah fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for Yah uphold Sister Deborah with his right hand. So David is sending to many of them, especially men, that if you fall, that's okay. He will not let you be cast down. He would uphold you with that power of that right hand. Something nobody never taught. Nobody. They have never, ever, 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 ever on this devil platform talked about the right hand. And who is the right hand? That's the one that was in Genesis 1 that he said they forsaken. And no matter how many times I say it, it doesn't matter. They're not going to pick the baton up and run with it because it's not in them. See, that's why I try to explain to you all. A lot of us want people to have it and they just don't have it. And they ain't going to get it. Okay? So now I go to verse 28. When I get to verse 28, it reads, for Yah loveth judgment and forsake not his saints. They are preserved forever. You see what I'm saying, y'all? These are the ones that's going over. You see? They got y'all thinking Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all of them living, going over. No. He's not going to forsake his saints. A lot of people do not believe the body of Hamashiach exists. That's another thing that they do not teach. That's why the 8% that was out of the 100, they took their awakening and took off running for themselves. That's what you actually see on all these platforms. People take it out to their families and their children. Whoop, I'm going this way. Camps, whoop, 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 whoop. All these other camps that hangs out on the corner, whoop, whoop, everybody going in their own little world. Why are you on the corners telling everybody, the heathens and Gentiles and the whole world, what you believe, and you haven't went amongst your own tribe to teach them? But I come to think of it, I thank the Most High, because you weren't teaching nothing nowhere worth going into your own tribe. Is that sad? Yes, it is. That's what you call sad. Because they ain't teaching nothing on the corners, in the camps, in the academies, in their homes. And those that are in their homes and using themselves as a church, they're conducting themselves like a church, and they're feeling, okay, I'm doing the work of Yah in my own home because I'm using this devil's platform to do it. So therefore, I'm using it to do my work, you see, and to where Yah called me to do this. He didn't call you to be lazy. That's why all of them you see now, they growing these beer bellies, and these women are just getting all out of control. Why? Because everybody is on themselves. They're feeding themselves. They're making sure themselves is taken care of, which is their flesh and their children and their family in their house. Not understanding, how can you teach anybody if you're not teaching spirit and truth? How can you teach the people if you're not teaching with the light? Their teaching is, hey, as long as I get a check and it's take care of me and my family, I'm going to teach the way I've been teaching. And really, it's a foundation like unto the Christians. It's no different than the Christians. It's identical. It's just they want to be called and seen as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. See, that's what they keep holding on to. But they don't understand you are born of the flesh. That's why you're conducting yourself in the fleshly manner. And I'm going to tell you, this is another key to it. Another key to it, this is why you don't see them on the highways and byways. They want to be rulers and controllers of everyone on these platforms. But you see them not on the highways and byways. You see them on corners. You see them in a house. You see them in academies. You see them out in the woods, building their own churches in buildings. You see them caught up in them, me. But Yeshua say, pray that he bring more laborers, for the harvest is ripe. That means that something out there is looking for the truth, looking for the light. But labor is not out there. Labors are not going out. So this is what Sister Deborah come to say as a judgment toward these people that's on this devil platform. They are not doing the work of the Most High Yah. They're doing the work of their self-owned flesh that's caught up in their wisdom, their knowledge, their understanding, their emotions, their feeling, their interpretation, and their understanding. And they just think they just got it going on because the world has given them this mindset that you got enough subscribers and likes, you can build an empire. And that's what they feel within, that I am an empire. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Nobody can say nothing to me. I have a church. I have a people I lead and guide. But they don't understand those people you're leading and guiding is through the narrow gate, through the broad gate. So have a good time with those that you are leading. And they don't even understand the judgment is going to judge them on those people you led. You didn't lead them nowhere. What did you lead them to? Was I the head of it all? Was I the beginning of it? Was I the end of it? Was I the focus? No, you weren't. I was trying to get paid. Didn't you say we labor? If we don't labor, we don't eat. See, what they didn't understand, the laboring is for the flesh as far as one eating. You see, that was for the flesh, but there is a labor for the spirit. That's the one Yeshua was talking about. Pray that he bring more laborers into the vineyard because the harvest is ripe. See, it's a two. You got to know which one you own. If the one that you own is feeding you and your family and taking care of you on the sense of I'm on here only to do this to get this paid, me and mine. I tell these people anything. I tell them what they want to hear. And that's where Sister Deborah will get backed out of this whole YouTube thing for sure. Because right now it's time to shine the light even as brighter than ever. Okay, so here in 38, Psalms 37 and 38, and it says, 37 and 28. And 28 said, for Yah loveth judgment and forsake not his saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. See, there go the twos. It was taught right there. David was talking about twos. You see, and you're going to hear how David is talking about twos. He's talking about one and a different one. Those are the twos. And if you ever sit down and listen to David, David will come up out of nowhere with the twos, breaking things down in twos. And when we decide to live a life where it's only one and it's only we need to say the good things and say the things to make people feel good and make people do good, you can't even do that because they'll only be doing it in their flesh. Because that which is spirit speaks truth. And truth comes to do what? To set you free. You see? From what? Wicked and evil and all this stuff that's taking place. So do you want to be set free by truth? Or do you want the lie so you can live in your flesh truth? It's still twos. And I think the flesh is winning 100%. And it's the will of the Father that the flesh do win. Because he made the gate broad enough and he enlarged the place of the lake of fire for just that purpose. Okay. They banned my video yesterday. They're going to ban this one too. How you like me now? See, verse 30. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. The reason why I like Paul saying this, not Paul, but David speaking like this. I love David speaking like this because a lot of people really believe that when you're speaking spirit and truth with the light, that you're only supposed to say those to make people feel good. And I have come to understand my page alone, that's what people really want. They want to feel good, not knowing that what this lady is saying is my survivor for later. See, the ignorance that rests within. You don't understand what this sister is saying today is your survival skill tomorrow. You see, that's what spirit and truth is. That's what a spiritual backpack. That's what food for the spirit is. It's giving you what you need today so you can survive it tomorrow. And you won't have the issues that everybody else is having. You have so much food for the spirit. You'll say, oh, that's happening because of this. That happened because y'all did this. Y'all said this. Y'all did this. Y'all did this. You'll see y'all in the spiritual realm of what's all going on. But it's not going to affect you because you're going to be already fully aware. You see? But most people, I come to understand that they want you only to say what they want you to say to satisfy them. And if you're not saying it, they feel that they can go here and there. But I myself learned that snakes slither in and slither out. They'll slither in and they'll slither out. Those are snakes still in it yet because they don't know how to just stay in and get all that they need. And the purpose of it is once you get enough, go and teach and preach and give what you have. Once your backpack is loaded, you got enough spirit and truth, you got the light in your right hand, take off, go. You see, that's the way you come out of it. But to slither in and out and in and out and in and out when I feel my feeling is hurt, when I'm feeling better, those are serpents, serpent seeds. A lot of people don't know it, but that's exactly what it is. They serpent seeds. Because my whole thing when I was coming up, I couldn't understand why people stay in the church all these years. My mental state of mind, why y'all staying here? You're supposed to come get what you need and get out in the vineyard. Get out, labor, get out. That's how I believe. That's how I believe. But to be going here, slithering, those are serpents. Just getting enough to slither in and slither out. And they are content with that mindset. And y'all allow them to be exactly where they at. That's why I say again, my lane was created. You can come out, teach that and preach that thing, Deborah, show that light, show spirit and truth, give the food of the spirit. Bam, get back in your lane, baby. You got a lane. That's the blessing of the Most High, y'all. Okay, so listen to this. David is talking in Psalms 37 and I have to stop. David is talking in chapter 37 and verse 30 and 31. Listen to what he said. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom. Why? Because there's two wisdom. I just explained to you. These people on this platform, they're teaching the wisdom of the flesh. But there is a wisdom of the spirit. And that's why he got righteous there, to let you know listen to what it says. The mouth of the righteous. That's what it says. Speak it wisdom. See, we thinking that wisdom is all the same. Knowledge is all the same. Understanding is all the same. No. They are tools. The flesh get the ability to have its wisdom. The flesh get the ability to have its knowledge. The flesh get the ability to have its understanding. And it moves heavily on its emotions and its feelings to take them, their selves, to where they're at, their understanding, their wisdom, and their knowledge. But the spirit, I like how David is saying some pretty good stuff here, y'all, because David is lining up the wisdom of the righteous one. Now watch what he says. And his tongue talking judgment. See, a lot of people don't understand. Now, when Sister Deborah is saying, get out and teach and preach and speak, you got enough spirit and truth, you got enough food, get out. This is the mouth of a true prophet. A true prophet would tell you that your mission is within you, not in no one else. Once you get what you feel you need and Yah is calling you to your purpose in him for his name's sake, always understand it's never for your name's sake. And that's what they teach on this devil platform. My name's sake. my page, my subscribers. I got so many subscribers. I got so many likes. I got so much support. You see, it's a mind. But see, when you get enough spirit and truth, you get enough light in your right hand, enough food of the spirit, you take off and you go and teach others. Go on the highway and byway. This is the reason why I know that the 8% that had called themselves awakening, this newfound religion, Hebrew Israelite movement, a cult, and all this old stuff, they have not awakened to anything but stupidity. That's why they 8% hadn't went out to Judah and Israel to tell them that who they are. They won't even tell them who they are because they have found out something about themselves, took off running and made their own and start building on their own God as if Yah only serves them. Listen to a true prophet. I'm sitting here telling you David is my brother. I'm sitting here telling you Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is my brother. I take it as far as we brothers in the spirit realm. That's how we become brothers. And I am their brother in the spirit realm. When David's talking, I give him the utmost respect. And I've said that over and over in any of them that I say that is my brother. I said the same thing about Solomon. I said about Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah. I sure do. Because those are my brothers. You'll never hear now one of them in the Israelite so-called movement. And all these cults and all these we to this and we to that. And these teachers and these preachers and all these people that's on here. You'll never hear them say that. See, a true prophet going to tell it like it is. You see, they're gonna cut through all that old crap and just let everything right out. But the main thing is to make sure that they rest on spirit and truth. And the power of Yah, and Yah is first and foremost. Always. Nothing come before them. Now listen to how David is warning me. See, David is not saying this song for himself. He's not in the end days. David ain't in the end days. David ain't going through famine. So who is David talking to? Me. He's talking to me. Just informing me of what is set before us. So in 30, when he said, and his tongue talketh judgment. A lot of times I speak and people use it as a form of me judging them or putting them down or saying things. You can think whatever you want. If you really understood what a prophetess is, you will really understand their job in Yah bosom, for Yah namesake, is to speak with such authority that what they speak about judge your bad tail. Yah is judging you every second, minute, hour. He's judging you. So if he got a vessel down here and speaking, and if their speech and what they're saying is judging you, you should be embracing it. Say, praise the Most High Yah. Because his servant is giving me a word from him that's going to cause me to think first. And that's all it's about. But people get so bent up and bent down because they've been living so long in darkness, you guys. To any pen, needle, or light is a threat to them. So I like what David is saying in verse 30. Psalms 37 and verse 30. He says, the mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom. The mouth. Watch this here. And his tongue talketh judgment. A lot of times you might hear me talking, thinking, she's really getting on us. She's saying we did. I wonder what the people think. The Lamb Book of Life has in it, and the other books have in it. It has already judged you, baby. So if you think in this judgment in which this woman speaketh wisdom is judging you, I like to know, have you see the darkness? You see how the darkness? Because what do you think heaven's already done? It didn't judge you one way or the other already. So verse 31, it says, the law of his Yah is in his heart. See, that's that law. See how we all the time want to put the law and the commandments in the control of the tradition of man? This law is in us, baby. The law of who? Yah is in us. So those on the outside of us can't say nothing to us because the law is in us already. You see? But see, they don't want to teach it like that. They want to teach it in the power where they can control it and batter you with keeping the law. And you got to do this. You got to do you. I'm set free. I'm free. I can fly. Boy, if he could give me another chance to go up and down like he did when I was young, I'd be in there. I'd be glad. You think I wouldn't? That was a good feeling to be able to do that because I knew it wasn't something that I myself could do. But I always used to say, boy, anything go wrong, anybody bother me, and I get in trouble where I'm in danger, all I had to do is go up. Not thinking that, wait a minute, now you flesh down there. I always used to think I can escape because I can go up. That's what I used to think, y'all, since I was able to do that. And there are times, and I tried to do it, and it won't be. See, that's why I know that there is something in me greater than he that's on the outside. He said, okay, Deborah, that's when you was young. Now, I gave you all the way until you was 36. You was able to do it. No more of that now. You're moving up. See, this is how your steps, you move up in Yah, not down. You see? So he's telling me, you can't use that no more. No, we ain't going to do that. We ain't going to do that. So in verse 31, it says, the law of his Yah is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. See, the law of Yah is already in you. You see? And your steps, you ain't going to slide. That's why he want to make sure you repeat the steps until you get it right. Because we ain't going to be having you slipping and sliding and carrying on. Come on up these steps so we can move to the next level. Because it's in you to go to the next level. Pull up. You see? Listen to what it says in 31. The law of his Yah is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. Yah has ordered the steps of, he has ordered our steps. You see? This is the steps that the serpent come after because he know they've been ordered and he always coming after the steps of the heel. And that's how his head get crushed because the steps that Yah has ordered must come to pass. Bam! Crush that head. Serpent get on by his own. Go on by his business. Why? Because he don't want to come around the one that's going to crush his head. That's why I understand people slither in and slither out. And the moment they hear something that they have never heard or that they were never taught, they come in, they zoop, get out. And I be saying, go serpent, go. I don't blame you. So I like this here because David is sending this, I feel, to me. And then when I get to 34, when I get to verse 34, it says, wait on Yah and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. See, he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. Now, right there again, David is telling us, could he have been talking about a time period? I don't think he's talking about the time period as he's talking about where we're at today. That the Father, in 34, wait on Yah and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. We got to understand that land is worth where we headed. And another thing that's kind of that come to my head, to mind right now, is we so messed up in the dark, we don't even have the spirit to be joyful or how would I say it? Looking forward. We don't have that spirit to want to look forward to what is yet to come. Because there's really no belief in us. There's so much darkness that keeps you from understanding that, wait a minute, boy, we're going where? Now look at how David's talking about it. David's talking about it in verse 34. Wait on Yah and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. You would think if David said that 1,000 years, we would really at all times be excited to inherit the land. But why aren't we? I'm not saying I ain't. I'm just sending you an example. Why? Because darkness is taking over. It's heavy. We're more caught up in being into what we can inherit in the natural. We ain't looking for the eternal, how would I say it, inherited of the spirit. We're looking for the things that we can inherit here on the earth. There is a lot of people so caught up in it that this is what, and I do not like this here, but I've seen it. I've seen it for what it is, not what it was, what it might be, what it feel like, but what it is. People look so into when people die. Everybody wants to get the inheritance. Everybody looking for the inheritance of an individual when they pass away. That's a bad spirit to have, because people thinking that this is how messed up it has gotten. People think their blessing coming through death. Mm-hmm. That's how Satan got people's minds so mixed up. They're looking for inheritance from death. And they get it confused with the blessing. They say, when y'all didn't bless me, but don't realize what you lost, to where they're not even feeling the loss because they're feeling the blessing that they think that Yah has given them because they have inherited. You see, that's how messed up the minds of people are, to where everywhere you go, everybody is more caught up in someone passing away so they can get inheritance. I have been to so many estate sales and watch these people. This is basically heathens. Watch them. I ain't gonna say heathens, I said Gentiles. Watch them so excited about getting rid of all their family members, especially mom and dad items. Just getting rid of it. Why? They're excited to sell the house so they can split, to get the proceeds from the house, to get the money. They to where they so excited to sell everything, things that they should hold on to of mama and daddy. They only been dead 2 or 3 weeks. Why are you getting rid of their stuff like that? I have lived it. I've seen it, you guys. And I've even asked a question. I got between, it was this one man and his no, it was 2 guys, 2 brothers, and their sister, and they were well over probably 48 and older. And the sons were wanting them to sell the stuff way cheaper so they can get it out. And the daughter was upset with the prices they were putting on it, as if the value of mama items wasn't worth the price she had on it. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, baby. The prices was off the chain. That's how cheap it was. And for the daughter to put the prices and the son decide to change the prices to be even cheaper, they got into it right in front of me. These were Gentiles. And the daughter got mad. She said, y'all just throwing away mama's stuff like it don't mean it. This is, she paid so much money. Y'all just want to just, and they was, they was arguing with her and she was arguing with them back. And I told her this, give me the price. It don't matter what you put on it. I'll take it. Because I felt her. She said, mama, we getting rid of mama's stuff. It wasn't nothing but trash. And she was right, y'all. Because you should see the stuff. The stuff was, I had put it in my seat. That's how I used to refill my thrift store. Is I go to estate sales, buy stuff, go put it in the thrift store. You see? So that was my only way to replenish my store. So I have closed it down. Ooh, it's been closed longer than 6 months. But I had no other choice because there was no business. When it got to where you only making less than $30 a day, that's no business. And I did that for so long to where I thought when soon it'll build up. The father said, let it go, Deborah, let it go. So I just cold turkey, bam, let it go. And I've been to so many where they are so excited to get rid of everything so they can sell the home, and they don't care about how expensive. They don't care about what they're getting rid of, expensive stuff. It's because, and they selling it for cheap. And I look at that situation and I say, see there, look at here. All in the name of getting the house cleared out so we can sell the house to get the funds. See, it's almost like, especially during the pandemic, everybody was so excited that everybody was dying to me. And I'm going to tell you why I realized that I don't need to be checked. I don't need to be checked by nobody, because I learned that if I have identified who I am in the flesh, as an empath. Empath. And if I am a prophetess, a servant of the Most High Yah in the spirit, it's no way. It's no way things can't get past, that can't get past me. Because the empath allow you to see things in the flesh. It allow you to detach emotions and feelings, thought patterns. And I'm like saying, so the world knew about that. Yeah, they know about it. But what they did not know is what I'm going to say today. It's still detached to the spiritual being, allowing it the ability to share in what it has in the spirit. That's why the flesh is able to do that. All these years, even as a young girl, I used to wonder why I can understand people's feelings and emotions and what people are thinking and what the world call it an empath. But what I can call it an empath too in the flesh. But in the spirit, I am a prophetess in the wilderness with the gifts of the spirit that he has given me. How did I become an empath? Is my spirit has gotten my flesh under the subjection, and it shares with my flesh the ability I have in the spirit. So that's why I am an empath. You see, even though they call this an individual person in reality, and it's been existing for years, but they feel that these people have a strong insight of people's thoughts, people's feelings, people's emotions. They know how. Now, when can a flesh do that? They can't. So I said that how I can do it is because I'm a spirit. And in my spirit, the gifts in my spirit has shared it with my flesh to allow me to have the ability. And likewise, anybody that has that ability, that's where they get it from too. Because it comes with a lot of really, really good things. None of it comes with bad things. Only thing bad about it is it's like you can't control it. And you just have this heart to do for others. And I'm going to tell y'all what he told me when I stepped out of the tub. He said, Deborah, one thing about an individual that's a giver, anybody that ever supported Sister Deborah, whoever I give to and support, you're giving and supporting. That's what he told me in the shower. Whatever you do by giving, it's like those who have given unto you. They're giving like you give, because they're giving you, and with the spirit that you have to do what they might not be doing, and that is being able to give to others. And my giving never been to people I really, what you call everybody I know. It's always somebody I don't know, strangers, people I don't. And I don't go out on the street saying, here, 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 here. No, no, no. If you knew how people draw to Sister Deborah, they can only know who I am in the spirit. I don't even have to say a word. You see what I'm saying? So it depends on what the spirit in me, which is the Ruach, says and what it tells me to do. There's many a times it says no. That person will not purchase that which is good for its body. The nourishment. Don't give. So, oh yeah, that Ruach know exactly what he's doing. But he told me when I stepped out of the shower today, he says, those that give you don't even understand. Every time you give, they give. And I thought that was beautiful, because that do make a whole lot of sense. Every time you give, Deborah, they give as well. So that's the way he was saying, because it's just like people who would think to be a part of something that's righteous. And just to be a part of something that's righteous would say that you are righteous as well, because you are a part of that which is righteous. You see what I'm saying? So this is what he's saying. He's bringing it into a spiritual setting, even though it might not sound right in the flesh. It might not have no understanding. It's not a good feeling in the flesh to know, because one would think, okay, when I give, I'm giving it unto you. Yes, but you got to understand who I serve. I serve a give and gave creator. So if you gave to Sister Deborah and Sister Deborah gave to 6 or 7 people, understand you gave to 6 or 7 people. You allow your fruit to extend more than just to Deborah. Deborah would allow it to extend to others. You see what I'm saying? Not that I go out doing this. I'm just showing you the job of the calling, the purpose of a prophet or a prophetess. Now, a prophetess is one that judge and also can teach. Okay, so therefore, for me to be where I am, when I say that they're not teaching this, they're not teaching this, they're not going out here, they're not going out there, because see, that's not my calling to go out. My calling to sit where I'm at, even if it's not the devil platform. Anybody, if everywhere I go, somebody come to me and they start talking everywhere I go, which they do, I am to bring forth spirit and truth. You see what I'm saying? But I am not to be out getting the building and teaching and leading and pastoring and all that. No. That's not my purpose in his name's sake. You see? So I know my order, but I have to, when it come down to giving people, you have to have a spiritual heart to be like unto Yah, give and gave. And if he's in me, he knows who to give to. I might not, and I ain't gonna say I might not know, but he does. And I like the way he rumble it, because he'll quickly tell me, this one here, don't. If they ask you, this one coming to you in about 10 minutes, don't give it. That's how he rumbled with me. Don't give him anything. That's how the Father works within. That's why I can't believe people who are say, when he's not real, he's not true, or we are all gods and we don't need him on the throne because there is these other Anakis and all this other mess that are God, that exceed above him and beyond, that to a point where really Yeshua nor Yah exists. That's where a lot of people are at. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but that's where a lot of them are teaching. That's where their minds are at. So here in Psalms 34, wait on Yah and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. You see that? You see what David said? Do y'all see what David just said? David said, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. Now watch this here. Now you inherit the land. Now watch this. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. Why? Because a lot of you all think it on the journey, all the house of Israel and Judah is going. Not understanding you're going to be able to see it, said David. David, 1,000 years telling you today, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. See what? The wicked cut off. Cut off from what? Cut off from what? What are they being cut off from, David? What are they being cut off from? The inheritance of the land. See, y'all thinking everybody going. Ain't no everybody going. But the main thing I think we all should focus on ourselves. Because I've gotten to the point in the last couple of years, don't focus on my children. Focus on my relationship with the Most High Yah and what he has me to do in this day. And take it one day at a time as he that abide in me teaches me. So I'm looking at the idea of what he's saying here in 34. And he said, when the wicked are cut off, Deborah, you're going to see it. That's what David's telling me. When the wicked are cut off, when the righteous one inherit the land and the wicked are cut off, you're going to see them cut off. You're going to see it. And I believe it's going to be like a purge. I believe it's going to be a sight to see. Remember Deuteronomy 28? Deuteronomy 28 said it twice. You're going to go mad for the sight of what you're going to see. So when you running around here thinking that everything's supposed to be peachy keen and you're not supposed to see the outcome of all this stuff that's taking place, if you're going to live to see it, y'all, you're going to see the famine. You're going to see the earthquakes. You're going to see the pestilence. You're going to see all kind of things that's taking place. And that's David 1,000 years ago still yet telling us today what we're going to see. You're going to see it. Okay? I can go on and on with David here, but I'm going to cut off right here. And let me just do this last one. 39, Psalms 37 and verse 39. But the salvation of the righteous is of Yah. He is their strength in the time of trouble. There go the salvation of the righteous is of Yah. He is their strength in the time of trouble. That strength is their power. So I say unto you all that David himself has word for the wicked as well as the righteous, knowing already the whole overall that in our days we're going to experience. A lot of people can connect it with any other time period, but we are to see that what David is talking about all the way down to where we're coming from as far as the inheritance of the land. So Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of it. I know that this probably most likely be one that they cut off, but Sister Deborah says that's all right with me, because I myself want to be about what Yah is about, not so much as what man is about. And that's something we're all caught up in, the effect of consequences. And when we do the things which is pleasing to Yah, the consequences of the world toward when we do right. But even when we come on our workplace, in our homes, no matter what, just do what is good, said David, what is pleasing to Yah. Trust in Yah and do what is good. And let the Most High Yah handle the issues of those who are wicked. So Sister Deborah, say I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in, and I will be back at 7 p.m. Central Time. Come join me. Shalom and shalom.